Hi everybody, it's Terry Patterson here, one of the VIP bloggers for Blackboard World 2013. I decided that I wanted to do something a little bit different than everybody else has been doing, personally also because it's exhausting. I've been doing a lot of things at Blackboard World, so I thought, well, I'm just going to video blog everything that's going on. So I want to talk about DevCon and the great opportunities and the great time I had talking with all system admins from around the country and around the world at DevCon. So we actually started on Monday morning, and the DevCon was sponsored by Dell, by Kaltura, and by Oracle. And Steven Feldman and Mike McGarr. Steven's the Vice President of Performance and Security, and Mike's the Director of Learn Operations, Learn Ops. So both of those kind of led a very unique, to say the least, keynotes. David Ashman joined in, the Chief Architect for the Learn product, and kind of gave us an understanding of what was going on. We got to learn a lot about how the future of what's going on with Blackboard when it comes to how they're integrating new building blocks and the like. We also got to talk to the new Senior Vice President of Product Development, and his name escapes me, and I don't actually have it in the program, but I am hoping to find some time to actually sit down and talk to him during Blackboard World. So that was a lot of fun. The opening keynote was really great and fun to kick things off. And that morning, one of the great sessions that many attended was Nick McClure from the University of Kentucky. He did a presentation on basically Blackboard 101 for admins. How do you need to do things? How do you, what's the basics that a Blackboard admin needs to have? And I thought that was like the best idea because Blackboard World should have a Blackboard Admin 101. It should always be something that's going on a yearly basis because we really need that. You have admin turnover everywhere, and to try to have that information passed down, things are going to be missed, and so it would be just great if they actually kept Nick and a lot of other great people who have done these type of presentations. They kept putting them in, not just DevCon, but DevCon and Blackboard World for those system admins from a GUI administrative option, and they're missing out on that. Then right after that session was actually one of my sessions where I talked about along with my coworker Jeremy Wiebold, we talked about SIS framework integration, and there's been a lot of talk about that. It was one of the most popular tracks in DevCon, and we talked about how the operation happened within our university and how we had the challenges and the successes and the failures that we had to overcome through that process. So it was really fun. Had a great large group. I was shocked at the size of the room and the size of the amount of people there, and so I felt very honored, very humbled that everybody wanted to know about those kind of things. That's just amazing to me, we came up with a lot of questions afterwards, and I actually had to sit out a couple of sessions after lunch just so I could sit down and talk to some folks and show off a couple of things and share some information. And it's kind of a great opportunity to be able to share your knowledge with everybody. You can find those slide decks out on the slideshare.net website. I've got them out there. I'll try to put a link in this video. So that afternoon, the one thing that I did get to attend is Matthew Salzman. He did a presentation on going outside the application and securing your Blackboard Learn environment. It's one thing that I find extremely interesting when it comes to the entire Blackboard application is one of the things most important to us, and sometimes we least think about is security. We're so wrapped up into building blocks and getting things new done, new things added on, new tools, new addressing the issues, making sure patches work, all that other stuff, that sometimes security actually falls down that list. And I was really great to see that that presentation, and for Matt to really kind of show what he's been really good at over the past few years. He's really been able to blow away. You know, every single time I go in there, I learn something new from a presentation from Matt. A new way. One of the things that I learned this time is a great app to use for port scanning, and how to port scan my Blackboard server to make sure that it's not giving out information and giving information to attackers that can help them better and improve their attacks as they continue to try to attack our environment. So really is a awesome thing, and that was really helpful. And so I really recommend, if you did attend and you got to see it and you have access to the Echo 360 presentations, which many of them were recorded, you can see that in the program and take a look at it, because it's just amazing. Then you had some other presentations, such as upgrading without tears, some great tips for manageability from Yusha Saha. I hope I'm not butchering that name. Who's one of the technical managers at Blackboard Learn. So she really did a very good job with that presentation and sharing her resources and her understanding about that. So after that, day one started to conclude. Everybody kind of went their separate ways for a little bit, got into the party mode as we went to Pole Position Raceway, which was just about, I'd say, 10 blocks away from the hotel, the Venetian Palazzo Hotel. And it was a fantastic, fun time. I got to race electric go-kart about 45 miles an hour, and I in no way, shape, or form got up to that speed, but still having that kind of power, it really is just amazing. It was fun, great food, great conversations about what's going on, Blackboard and non-Blackboard related between everybody, video games, arcade games, you know, you name it, we had it. And that was a great opportunity. Really was. For me, it was a great time. And then headed back to the hotel, a little bit of gambling, shall we say, and enjoyment here at the plaza where I'm based out of this week. So let's continue on to day two. So day two starts out early this morning, and I missed my first session, a little bit groggy, had a sore throat. You can kind of tell there's a little bit of a gravelness to my voice. So I did miss my first morning session. I had actually planned to attend the presentation that was being given by Nick about the SAS integration process and moving from snapshot to snapshot. He's got a very different environment and a different way of dealing with it, and we all have different ways. That's the one great thing about it. If the way I do things in a SIS framework is different from the way Nick does it, from the way somebody else might do it, and so you never want to just skip one. If that's really your focus this year, or if you're wondering about it, you want to try to get each of us to give our opinions and give our feedback, because that can help impact how you're going to make your changes, or how you're going to impact your faculty, or how you're going to implement this in the long term. So actually, I spent the morning meeting with a user who had attended my session earlier on Monday, and had some questions and really wanted to step through. Dan Renzel, who is one of the architects at Blackboard and helps architect some of the products of Blackboard Learn, who actually worked on the SIS framework, sat beside us, and he really wasn't paying primary attention to it. He was working on a few projects with some other groups, but he was listening to that. And one of his great tweets that he posted afterwards was, "It's great to hear people, hear great folks talk about the product that you designed and you built and helping teach others about it." And that's a very impactful statement, and I appreciated Dan for posting that and tweeting it, because it really does make me feel good to be able to share the knowledge that 10 years has been able to of Blackboard Learn environments and working through that from an administrative perspective. It really is a powerful option that you can have. So I did get to jump into a few things. One of my favorite ones was actually the presentation about the MBeans Exposed, and how you can actually use JMX. This is from Noraki, Tatsumi, and Danny Thomas. And Nori is a director of development at Blackboard. Danny's a software engineer. And Nori is probably, to me, the development god. You know, the logging god, has that kind of a level in my mindset. He's a guru about it, because he's the one who built a Zabbix integration with Blackboard, so you're able to monitor so much of what you're doing in the admin console in the latest releases of Blackboard Learn. And so it's just great to see him expanding that. He and Danny gave us some really great options of how we can monitor the systems, the threads, and maximum threads, all those kind of things. Really just using things such as JMX and many other free products to figure out what's going on. So it was really, really a great time. Then we actually wrapped up our, I guess I wanted to leave it for last. So talked about all the sessions that I went to. Stepping back, Monday during the day, right after lunch, we actually were really honored to have Gene Kim. Gene Kim, who is a co-author of a book called The Phoenix Project. And I'm lucky enough to have a signed copy from Gene. And it really is talking about how we can change things to be very impacting our environment. How we as developers and operation folks and admins, we can all work together to really create something amazing and not really want to fight each other. One of the great quotes is that he had was talking about how some users, some institutions were actually found that when they wake up their software engineers or their developers or their ops folks at 2 a.m., the problem seems to get fixed a whole lot faster than when it's done during the day or anything else, because they're having a vested interest. They're losing sleep over it, basically. So that was great. It was great to sit down and do that. If you're interested in it, the Phoenix Project, they have like the first half of the book available online for free. It is an impactful book from listening to Gene. I believe that it's a very impactful book that will impact an IT organization, will impact admins and dev and ops folks all the time. So it was great. And then in our closing keynote, Stephen and Mike came back up. Again, a very unique is the only word you can kind of use for that. And they talked about, they gave out some awards, one to Bruce Phillips from the University of Kansas, one to the University of Alabama for their work in developing a building block, and then I believe 2 gentlemen from the UK who are working on a building block. Find all that information. They're a part of the Catalyst Awards program, so you can find that at blackboard.com/catalyst. And that wraps up basically DevCon. It was an awesome, awesome time. If you've never been to DevCon, if you ever have to have a budgetary time where you have to choose between Blackboard World and DevCon.